I hadn't heard from my family in 10 years. No calls, no texts, no happy birthday or congratulations when I sold my company for 8 figures. So when the security system buzzed and I saw their faces on the gate camera, smiling like ghosts from a past life, I froze. "Hi, sweetie," my mother chirped as if it had been a week. "We were just in the area and thought we'd stop by." Behind her stood my father, my brother Marcus, and his wife Kayla, all dressed like they were on vacation. They had luggage. I didn't answer right away. I just stared at the screen, wondering what part of "you're dead to us" they forgot. They disowned me when I was 20. I should have said no. I should have let them roast on the pavement and learn what silence feels like. But I was curious, and curious enough to open the gates. The front door swung wide as they rolled in like royalty. My mother's heels clacked across the marble floor. "Wow, this is bigger than I imagined." She said it like it hurt to admit. Like my success was offensive. My father nodded stiffly. "So this is where all that tech money went, huh?" Not congrats. Not "we're proud of you." Just another backhanded comment from the man who said I'd be broke by 25. Kayla let out a fake gasp. "Marcus, we should totally do something like this in Scottsdale." He grinned. "If someone funds it." I didn't even blink. They hadn't changed. They weren't here for reconciliation. They were here to see what they could take. I gave them a quick tour, the kind where you keep your arms crossed. They admired the art on the walls without knowing I painted most of it. They complimented the garden like they weren't allergic to getting dirt on their shoes. When I showed them the guest suites, Marcus flopped onto the bed and said, "This'll do." "This'll do? You ghost someone for a decade, then act like you're the guest of honor?" They had no shame, but that's what made it easy. I was already planning the end before dinner was even served. They didn't wait long. The next morning, I came down to find my father in my office, uninvited, spinning in my leather chair like he owned the place. "Your setup's impressive," he said. "You ever think about investing in something more secure?" I raised an eyebrow. "Like insurance?" He grinned, like it was the cleverest thing in the world. Before I could respond, Marcus walked in, holding a laptop. "Actually, Dad, let me pitch it." Of course, a slideshow was already loaded. Charts, projections, fake enthusiasm. "It's a new app idea," he said. "Basically like Uber, but for personal trainers. I just need an angel investor, someone who believes in family." I stared at him. "You mean the family that disappeared when I couldn't pay rent?" Silence. Kayla appeared next, clutching coffee like she was in a movie. "Come on, Elena, you're doing amazing. Why not help the people who raised you?" That was it. I closed the laptop and pushed it gently across the desk. "Let me be crystal clear," I said. "You didn't raise me. You left me." My mother scoffed. "We gave you discipline." "No, you gave me distance, which is why I learned how to build without you." I stood and they went quiet. "If she doesn't invest, I'm telling everyone she stole from the family to fund this place." They froze. Forks dropped. I stepped forward and said calmly, "You ghosted me. Then you tried to use me. Now you'll leave the same way you came, with nothing." I planned it all. The dinner, the guest list, the seating arrangement that placed my entire family at the center of the grand dining room, beneath crystal lights they couldn't afford and beside people they didn't deserve to meet. They thought it was a celebration, a reunion, a peace offering. They dressed up for it. My mom in her gaudy pearls, Kayla in heels too high to walk in, Marcus with that slick confidence he always wore before a crash. Wine flowed. My staff served dishes my mother used to mock me for experimenting with. She used to say, "No one's going to pay for weird food like this." Now she couldn't even pronounce the ingredients. I gave them a toast. Short, cold, civil. Then I said, "Let's watch something together." The lights dimmed. A projector flickered on across the white wall. It wasn't a slideshow of family memories. It was footage. Crystal clear audio and video from the security cams. Their entire stay. Them insulting my furniture. My cooking. Mocking my success behind closed doors. Kayla calling my art pretentious garbage. My dad laughing. She got lucky. No way she earned all this. Then came the clip of Marcus saying, the silence after the video ended was louder than any scream. No one moved. My father's face was stone. My mother gripped her wine glass like she could shatter it with sheer denial. Marcus opened his mouth, but nothing came out. I didn't wait. I clapped twice. Security entered the room, calm, professional, and already briefed. My voice didn't rise. I didn't need to shout. Escort my guests to the front gate, I said. Their stay is over. Kayla stood first. You're kidding. You're seriously kicking us out? I nodded. And you've got 10 minutes to pack. My mother lunged up. We're your family. No, I said, staring her down. You were my family, until you chose silence over support. Now you're trespassers. They didn't believe it. Not until security began guiding them gently but firmly out. Marcus snapped. You're going to regret this. No one turns their back on their own blood. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. You turned your back on me first. I just finally stopped looking over my shoulder. He tried to argue, plead, but the door closed behind him before he could finish the sentence. I watched through the security monitor as the gate locked shut. They stood outside, bags in hand, disbelief on their faces. I didn't wave goodbye. They lingered at the gate, knocking, pleading, pretending. My mother shouted, We made mistakes. My father said, You're still our daughter. Marcus banged the iron bars, yelling, You can't erase us. But I could. And I had. I walked to my office, poured myself a glass of wine, the same vintage my father mocked earlier, and turned off the gate feed. Silence again, this time on my terms. The next morning I made one final move. I donated $500,000, the same amount Marcus had asked for, to a foundation that supports young women in tech, in my hometown, in my name. The donation was made in honor of the Rivera family. They would see the headlines. They would see that the legacy they tried to bury me with was now funding futures for people like me, the ones they tried to silence. The phone rang 2 days later. My mother's number. I let it go to voicemail. I just wanted to talk. Her voice trembled. We were wrong. Please, call us back. I didn't. I owed them nothing. 10 years of silence taught me how to live without them. One weekend reminded me why I had to. And as the gates to my estate stayed closed, I smiled, because some ghosts don't deserve to come back.